Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and I'm joined with hubby.
Hubcap version 2.0.
Well, happy 2019. Hopefully you are having a great day so far. We're running behind, as usual.
No, we're not. Oh, I guess we are.
No, we're behind.
I thought, wow, that was weird.
Why?
Because it was like, we were ready to go, and now it's 5 after.
I know. I'm trying to get all untangled. I had all my wood burners out. Today we are doing textures.
Everything's falling apart.
It's falling apart.
So, we got Ted, Greg, Cian, Beryl, Eve, Sharon, and Philip in chat.
Hi, Cian, Philip, Paulo, Eve, Burrow, Sharon, Greg. Did I miss anybody? Ted. Alright, we are going to start with rocks today. And I have my reference up to the side, but I also have a reference for you if I can figure out how to use this darn new... No, don't remove the scene. Give me what I want.
You want? I'll tell you what you really want.
Well, I'm using a different stream. There we go. And I don't quite know it yet. So I had requests for natural textures such as rocks, trees, water. So that is what we're looking at today. These are very small. Hopefully I can get through a lot of them. And unfortunately, because I've been using my graphite paper since August, it's done over 50 transfers on the small sheet that I've cut. Everything is getting lighter. So hopefully you can see it all right. And we will get started. Alrighty. So for rocks, all of this may look intimidating, but when you break it down to its simple shapes...
It looks like a weird advent calendar.
When you break it down to the simplest shapes and make sure you get the contrast right, it looks a lot more realistic than you might feel it does. But with rocks and even trees and other natural surfaces, unless somebody's looking right at the photo, they're not going to know if you're off a little bit.
That's
like
true.
At all.
That's why I always forbid all of all the people who view my art. I forbid them to look at any photos ever.
And yet I pop the photos up on the screen.
Well, aren't we perfect?
No, far from it. Oh my goodness.
Tina M. Rowell is here.
Hi, Tina. And I'm just going to keep hitting the camera because it's right in my face. So, right now I'm going to get my shadows in first. This is a dick board.
And it begins.
Board. What are you talking about?
Go on.
Okay. And I've only hand sanded it. Oh, we're not going too well today.
I'm going to get you a drink, and I'm going to see what the seal is barking about.
He's been barking all morning.
I know.
It's only hand sanded, so it's not very smooth. You're going to see my tip kind of get grabbed by the grain. But for rocks, you know what? That's okay. I'm using the 18M, and I'm on 3.5. So I'm trying to... I did these small so I could get through them. My chair's too high. No, it's not. My board's too low. So my hand's shaking a little bit. So we're going to get in some of the darks and then erase. And hopefully, even though this is small, it's still helpful. Do I have autofocus on? Because if I do, I need to turn it off. Because we don't need autofocus. We're right here. So, autofocus was on, but now it is off. Okay. I feel so out of practice. It's been 2 weeks. In fact, this is the first time I've turned on the burner since the last live. I've been so busy trying to get... Well, first I got sick, and that was very ugly. And I don't wish it upon anybody. And stay away from the Pizza Hut buffalo wings. We'll leave it at that. So I was sick for a week and the holidays, and I'm working on a very big wood burner comparison video. I'm seeing that there's lacking information, and for people to make choices, you need as much information as possible. So I'm trying to get that done. So it doesn't really matter if you get every line in the right spot. In fact, you can do a little more decorating or less decorating depending on what your piece actually is. I'm going to have to turn it a little bit so that I be more comfortable. And I'm seeing so many new people come to burning, and it's awesome. I'm not normally this shaky. That's okay. And for some reason, chat is not talking to me. Maybe because I need to switch. There we go. Hi, Sheila. I didn't see everybody. Hi, Sharon. So even with this, I'm going in small circles. I haven't adjusted the heat, but because of how I'm moving my pen and the fact that the board is hand sanded, I can get a really cool texture without even trying. But I do recommend sanding your board with an electric sander. You get a much better surface, a lot smoother. That way it feels like graphite blending over paper. It's kind of what you want your burning to feel like. Kind of off here. Okay, still on camera. Alright. Man. So get that in there. So with this rock stack, I can't remember what these are called. I got all my photos off of Pixabay. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine.
I also hated it, your coffee.
Oh, thank you.
It looks like you didn't really finish it.
No, that's my second cup. So we're gonna tap in some darks in here, get our shading in. But with rocks, and even with distant trees, I honestly would not stress about how it's looking. Because in the end, nobody's going to know. As long as it accents your piece, I think that's all that matters. Ah! The ring's poking me. There we go.
Sheila Edwards is here.
I saw Sheila.
You did? Okay.
I did. I'm so out of practice. Haven't turned on the burner in 2 weeks. Haven't live streamed in 2 weeks.
Wait, it's not been 2 weeks, has it?
Last week was Christmas. We didn't live stream on Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Wow.
We went with our friends for 2 weeks.
Wow.
I know. So I don't think I'm going to go all the way up the rocks for right now. Definitely just want to get the basics in, and getting the shape. If your rock is flat or round, I think is important, just to get that feeling for the space that it's in. I think if you do your rocks really flat, but they're not flat in the reference photo, it might feel a little off to you. So the shading is what's going to make it feel. Oops.
It's already looking good.
Eh.
Well, nothing's changed with you in the new year.
Well, no, I just messed it up right there, just as you said it. I'm looking at the screen and my saturation is up. So just having that contrast will make your rocks look awesome. Whether you're a little off, that is okay. I think as long as you put whatever kind of detail you're wanting to for your rock or rocks. Why?
What did you do?
I'm trying to lower the saturation because it's looking too yellow. There we go. It's throwing me off every time I look up.
Alright.
So I try to get the lifespan so like exactly as what we're seeing.
Tony Flames here.
Hi Tony. So do we have any questions so far?
No, I guess Sharon got knocked out of chat for a few minutes.
Oh.
She's back now.
Okay.
Looks like Cian and Philip are talking about getting new burners.
Yay. Oh, Philip, is your Colwood not working right?
Well, he says, oh, I don't know. He said, because Cian said she's excited about that upcoming video. I'm hopefully getting a new burner this year. And Philip says, same here, Cian. Hope by April or May. It's a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
And yet, it's just right around the corner. Just
I
look
know.
what happened with 2018.
I know. It went so quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of circles. And sometimes you can just tap in, do a bit of stippling to get your texture. That will make the rock feel like a rock. Let's see here.
But
Darken this one. And I haven't adjusted my heat at all since I've got it on the setting I want.
you don't think that the rock feels like the rock?
No, not sometimes. I think sometimes he doesn't.
Well, I don't know. I think even though he calls himself Dwayne Johnson now, I think most of the time he still feels like the rock.
I don't know.
I hope everybody had a good holiday season.
Yeah, I briefly mentioned in the Toasties over on the Facebook group, they know what happened the Friday before Christmas.
What happened?
I
I mean, I'm sure I was here.
You quickly forgot
What happened?
the Friday before Christmas.
Oh!
The Friday.
Oh,
That
oh,
Friday.
that. See, I block it out, and then you bring it back, and then it's like, no! I don't want to remember.
Yes, you were a saint.
I don't know about that.
Let's just say the hand fasting vows were definitely tested.
Oh, no. I don't think so. It's like, we're for better or worse.
Well, that was definitely worse.
That was the worst.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
All right. So just getting in that contrast. Do some stippling. Do some of the ovals, but do them quickly and not like you're blending, but just giving texture.
I got a question.
Yes.
Well, and also Philip says, no, it's his burner is working just fine, but I'm looking at the unit that you are using.
Ah, the Optima.
Yep. And Sheila says, what heat setting are you using?
Right now I'm on 3.5 with the 18S. And it's just my pin control and how I'm moving the pin. Excuse me. That's making it lighter or darker. If I want it darker, I need to slow down. Lift the pin every, I don't know. When I feel my burning is getting lighter, just lift the pin for a second. Let the tip reheat. With the Optima, it's really quick on heat recovery. So you just lift it up. And I'm being a little more exaggerated in my motion so that you can see that I'm lifting. But normally when I'm burning, it's just a very quick, you can't even tell. It almost looks like I'm just moving my pin to a different place, which I am. But I'm also letting the tip reheat. And if I go quicker, like this, I can burn very, very lightly, even though I'm on 3.5.
So you're making it look easy. That's what you're saying. That's what I'm getting
No, pin control, I would say there are 3 big things that will help improve your pyrography. The first one being taking your time. I promise it's not a race. Nobody's timing. Nobody's giving you a hard time. If you come in last, just take your time and enjoy it.
There is no last.
See, there is no last. There is no first.
That's right.
It's just be. Anyway, so take your time. It's okay. I know we all get excited. We want to see it finished. Just take our time. Second is contrast. Let's see here. Right now, let's see here. Let me find an area. Let me do an area that looks about the same because of how I've burned it. So let's see here. We'll put this rock right here together with this rock. And you'll see that it just kind of looks blah. Trying to get the same tone.
That's an artistic term.
Blah. Yes. Scribble. Blah. And don't do this.
Sheila says that she's using the 18S and the setting looks about the same.
Okay, good.
Is she burning along or something?
She's in the UK, so because it's a 240 unit, 220, 240 unit,
okay.
The settings are like, it's like a setting or two higher over on the international burners, and so they tend to have to bump them down in order to get the same value that I'm getting.
Gotcha.
So, all right, so we just kind of have, there's two rocks here, and it's just kind of blah. But I want, let's see here, this rock, I think, no, I want the back rock to stand out, or to make this rock stand out. So, do a little bit of negative burning. And like I said, I'm exaggerating this so you can see it. But now this contrast, this rock just intentionally popped this rock out just by going darker. And I could go even darker down at the bottom. And in doing this, it gives your rock pile more of a 3D feel. Like if you're going for realism, that's kind of what you want. And though it looks like I'm outlining, I'm not. It's just because of the negative burning. But even on the rocks, in a way, let's see here. We can kind of do a little outline. I wouldn't outline the outside. What are you doing?
Nothing.
I wouldn't outline the outside part of the rock, because then it won't look, well, it'll be outlined and it'll look great, look kind of cartoony. Alright, so let's get this, I'm going to get this side in so we can see the full rock.
Robin Shorts here.
Hey Robin!
And says, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year! Alright, so let's, okay, so now we have a rock. And what I'm going to do with things on the ground, in general, unless there's a cast reflection, which sometimes there is, like with water, things at the bottom part of the subject are darker because they're heavier. And so we want to give it some weight. Plus the light doesn't hit because we've got angles. So we'll have darker here. And
darker because it's heavier? What?
Yeah, it's hard to... okay, let me see if I can explain it
better.
better.
That doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on. Let me find something that hopefully I can...
Do you mean the value is heavier?
Let me see if I can explain that, because if I'm confusing you, then I just confused everybody.
Well, that's not necessarily true, because I am easily confused.
Based on my light, I'm trying to see if I can... Let me look at my photo.
Actually, probably the toasties probably all get it. They're like, Upcat, stop it. Get out of here. Let's move on.
I'm thinking how I can explain this Maybe I used the wrong term. Versus, maybe that's why. Now I gotta think how to do this.
It's okay.
How to.
I forgot what we were talking about.
That's why you have problems with pyrography. What?
Nothing. That's just true. It's funny because it's true.
You're in a hurry and you lose focus. Because, okay, it's more grounded. How's that? Does that help?
Maybe.
If I burn the rock in here, up here, and doing it lighter, because it's a light rock, without the shadows, it just looks like it's floating in the air. The shadows add weight and ground.
So you're adding visual weight.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay,
yes, that's what I meant.
I'm sorry.
No, I should have explained that better.
It's okay.
I should have explained.
You gotta break it down, as we say in the military, Barney style. To me. No,
it wasn't even Barney style. I think I just explained it. That's all. Because if you were confused, there were other people that were just looking at their screen going, what the are you talking about?
I don't know. I think that they'd probably say that when I'm talking, but...
Let's see here.
You know, I'm proud of us. Like when I was much younger, and even 10 years ago, like, after the holidays, like, any treats that we had in the house would have been devoured.
We didn't really have treats.
Well, what, you didn't?
Well, we didn't really buy any.
Well, you know, our family was always like chocolate and candy and stuff like that.
The stocking.
Yeah. Like, all that stuff would have been gone, like, in the same day as like, Christmas morning and stuff. And there would have just been a bunch of wrappers lying around the house. And I would have been like, get out of here, Snoop Dogg. Get out of the fridge, Eazy-E.
What?
Yeah.
That made no sense to me.
It's a bunch of wrappers lying around the house.
Oh, I know. Oh.
It's not funny if I have to explain it.
That's true.
Sorry. Dad jokes.
Yes.
Serica hit me with a dad joke last night.
Did she?
Yeah, it was elaborate. It went right over my head. Stop it.
Alright, so I'm carving it out just a little bit. Slowing down the pen. Again, I have not changed the heat setting on my pen.
She was talking about that. She told me that the other day that they were learning about pirate shanties. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And she said, yeah, learned all about them and their historical origins, and found out that most of them were sung on musical notes in the high C's. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then she would pause a minute, and she's like, the high C's, Dad. And I was like, what? Right over my head.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't sing or play an instrument, I could see that going over somebody's head.
No, I think it's just me.
Alright, so I really do need to move on since we got so much. It's hard because Yen is the one who really had questions about rocks, and she's not in. Oh. So I'm not sure if I'm covering everything that she's looking for.
Well, you know, you're known for being thorough, so I'm pretty sure you'll answer her questions.
When it comes to rocks and trees, I would not get too bent out of shape or stressed as to whether or not it looks exactly the same. Sometimes less is more. And I think if I went too detailed with it, it would overpower what it actually is.
You made a stand for your...
Huh?
You made a stand for your raven.
Oh, no, that's been there. That was a stand for clip for the camera. Oh. Alrighty, let's move on to trees in the distance. So that one is... Which one?
Burl, your sister's raven is staring at me.
I love that raven. Now I gotta figure out where the photo is. Because that's not the... Maybe I didn't pull that one in.
Oh, I'm just here to read comments.
Alright. Big photo might pop up on the screen, and that's just because I'm pulling up my next one. Gosh.
Or not.
Oh, no, I have to go to the file.
Oh, jeez.
I know. I'm in the file. Alright, so the photo we are going to next, I did not trim. This is the full photo, but we are not doing the full photo. We are only doing, let's see here, we are only doing a small portion.
Okay.
So we will do that. I gotta pull off the other. That one and that one. Okay, sorry about that.
Philip says it is helping me for sure. I find myself getting way too much detail.
Yeah, with the rocks, you really don't need to. So now we're going on to the trees, and I think I can go ahead and stick with the pen that I'm using, which is the 18S. I normally grab the 18M. You know what? I'm missing that pen. We're doing the 18M. I missed it.
No, Daryl, she's not giving me the evil eye.
Why? Should I?
No, not you. The Raven.
Oh, no.
No.
No, in fact, he made it snow.
She's just looking benevolent and kind and magical.
I love my Raven. And if you don't know what we're talking about, I did upload an unboxing video yesterday, and I know it has nothing to do with Pyrography, but I was just so excited to share the Raven. I talked about it, I don't know, about a month ago? About a month ago, I shared a photo of it. So, sorry, I'm waiting for my pen to heat up. Yes, I do want it on. Alright, so my line's straight down. If you notice, I don't transfer a whole lot of information because I don't need this to be exact. I need to know where maybe some of the outline is, where that sits. I need to know where some of the trees themselves are without getting too detailed and refined. These would be considered in the distance. So we're not going to see every needle or every limb or, we see clumps. That's all we see are clumps and shadows.
That's called atmospheric perspective.
Ooh, I bumped the camera. Alrighty, so, I know I'm going to use the edge of my pen and just get this drawn in. I could use the ball tip. I just don't feel like switching pens. We've already waited for me to switch to this one.
Oh, okay.
But if you've got the ball tip, a ball tip would work.
Would work. Mm-hmm.
Would work. I'm set on 3.5, and I'm just using the very end, and that's why it's lighter. As I'm trying. And I'm not going as dark as I could, because then I don't have room to adjust. If I go in too dark, then I can't adjust it. No, that's curved. Oh well, we got a curvy tree.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can Bob Ross it.
Yep, Bob Ross it up.
So I'm just getting in.
That's what I do. If you ever hear me screaming in my studio, it's like, it's not a mistake, it's a happy accident. It's a happy accident.
You trying to convince yourself?
Yeah.
Hey, at least you don't have the vortex's cuss words swirling above your head.
Mm-mm.
I got that. Alright. So if you look in the reference photo, the mountains are lighter and mistier, and because they are the furthest away of our focus. Let's see, I want it a little too dark. These can be thicker because they are closer to the camera in the scheme of the scene, and they're also bigger. So actually might take a ball tip and thicken that line up.
So when we talk about atmospheric perspective, that's an artifact of the actual air. Even though air is clear, it's not completely clear, and over distance, the amount of air between you and whatever you're viewing, there's more of it in the way, and it diffuses the light, and it makes it lighter, and you lose the detail. Interestingly enough, when you were hanging at the gallery down in Williams,
yeah,
I was talking to a photographer, and he had a photo of the moon, and it was like clear, like so detailed. And he told me he took it with a UV camera, and because he took it in UV, you don't have atmospheric perspective. You don't have any of the atmosphere diffusing into the details. So it was like stark. It was a stark contrast. I thought that was interesting.
I think it's definitely helpful because I think as artists we want to put all the information in, and some of us want to detail the hell out of it.
Some of you, some of us whose initials are, I don't know, Valarie.
Those aren't initials.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Yes, you're bad.
Yes, Ted, the Misty Mountains.
Yep. Oh, Zeppelin fan.
Well, or a Lord of the Rings fan, or both. What are you growling at me for?
Alright, so now we got a tree
right back at you.
in the shadow. And what I'm going to do, I think, and I'm going to be up front. I've never done this.
What?
So I've never done trees like this.
No?
No, I haven't. I'm looking at the photo. I'm taking the basics that I know and trying to apply them to what I see.
Okay.
And because the limbs do go left, right, horizontal, because of the type of tree we're looking at, I'm going to actually turn my pen and make my stroke left, right.
Ted says both in regards to Misty Mountains.
Oh, okay.
Good man, Ted. Good man.
Yes. So, and this is also a shadow. I don't want to erase. Come on. All these erasers and I can't grab one.
Jacqueline Stevens says, hi,
Hey,
everyone.
Jacqueline.
So glad I had a chance to see you live.
It's been a long time. Alright, so I don't want detail. And I'm actually putting it in. So let's see if we can blur it out.
So you're fighting your own instincts.
I am.
Wow.
I am.
You see it live on pay-per-view. Valarie versus Instincts.
I'm trying not to. This is a very small area. I only did these 2x3s.
Yeah.
So I'm really not going to have like any detail. For distance stuff, like nothing. Alright.
The snow is blowing off the trees.
Yeah. Just glad we got snow.
Very pretty.
Alright. So I'm just switching the direction of my pen, or whether I'm using the flat side or the edge. Alright. That's not as dark as I want, but that's okay. We will come back and darken it up. What I can do...
Greg says too much detail trying. I fight it too.
Yeah, it's hard. Actually, ball tip might be better for this. I'm going to go ahead and switch over because I can get into a smaller area.
Well, I'd say it's about done.
Alright, this is a medium ball tip. I'm going to bump it up to 4. There we go. Hopefully it'll heat up quickly. Alright. So with the ball tip, I can squiggle a lot easier. Which means I'm not putting detail. There we go. Squiggles. Very technical.
Squiggles.
Squiggles. Alright.
I think for me, like, doing landscapes is like I used to hate them. I just couldn't stand them at all. But now they're like a release, you know, because it's like there's so many abstract shapes in landscapes, and all those abstract shapes make up a detailed landscape, you know. And you can, you know, make a forest or something relatively quickly out of just a bunch of shapes, and
That's true.
you know, and not having, and it's unique because, you know, it's a lot of random lines and
If I could have gone
shapes.
the smaller ball tip. Bump it up.
Yeah, we need that. Ted says he imagines 2 sock puppets, one with horns and one with a halo, telling you, Val,
Oh.
you need more detail. No, you need less detail.
How fitting. We still gotta make Eve's puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Got the stuff.
Yeah.
Make hers.
New year.
Ugh, so much to do.
That's all right. Take it one step at a time.
Yep.
Take it one nap at a time.
Yep. Alright, so squiggle, squiggle. See, I have another tree scene that we're going to do where there's even less detail. Because it's about the clumps of trees, not... These are a little more broken out, so you can see more. Oh. Just trying... Get some of these leaves in. Limbs in, not the leaves. But where there's groups together like this, we can just clump them more together. See, this area is darker. Did you figure out how to do it?
No.
Oh.
That's fine. You can teach me later.
Oh no. What do you want?
Oh.
Right here.
Oh.
So, I'm just gonna squiggle. I want some darks for some of these trees to make them stand out a little bit more. Trying not to be perfect. They can have a bit of a uniform shape, but trees, let's see here, are not perfect. They're not perfect shapes. So let's see if we can do a little bit more with this one. And I'm just skipping around. I'm not even hitting all the areas. So what we'll do is we'll focus right here on this area. And we need to put some of the tree behind other parts of the trees. And we also have some grass.
Sharon says the ball tip looks softer.
Softer? Oh, it's not making the lines.
Mm-hmm.
But I am having to fight the blobs. But for trees, it's okay.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
For trees, it's okay. There we go. So we have a bit of a shadow here. And I'm really just scrumbling. I'm not hitting every area. Now this part can be darker.
You know, it's something that helps me in general is like we were talking, like I'm having all the problems with the wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because like I don't have a clear idea of where I'm going sometimes.
It affects me too.
And I think that if you have a clear idea of how, at least how you want it to feel, if you're connected to it, then you can really kind of do what you need to do intuitively. which is what you're doing right now.
Right now, I'm just...
So Beryl says this is so helpful.
Oh, good.
And Sharon says, nicer look. And Ted says, with the influx of new toasties, are you going to do another critique show soon?
I am.
For one, have a piece ready for the next one.
All right, I am. We're probably going to go through the rest of these textures. I'm trying to get as much as I can done. And then, because I missed somebody last month who requested a critique, so he will go first. But yes, I am going to keep that up. People seem to like him.
So are we going to do them on Sunday, or are we going to do them on our Tuesdays?
Oh, that's a good question.
Sorry, I didn't mean to create controversy.
No, you're making
live.
me think. Well, we got... That is a good question. I will let everybody tell me which is better, Tuesday or Sunday evening. And I say this knowing exactly what Gila is going to say. Gila got upset with me.
Why?
Because she's in bed at that time on Sundays.
Oh.
So he missed it.
Well, I mean, we could do...
I guess I could try to do 2 critiques a month.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And so the Tuesday one would be for those who normally are up. Yeah. And then Sunday night will be those who are normally up.
So you could just say, like, if you wanted to critique, just that, tell you which day that you want it critiqued on. And then that way you don't have to be up at all hours of the night.
Yeah, because I feel bad. I know we've gotten a lot of Australians coming into burning, and I feel bad that they are in bed right now.
So do they have to burn backwards?
I was waiting for that. I was so waiting for that.
No?
No.
Okay. So Greg says, this is why I like scenery over portraits. More fun for me. And I have to say, like, what you're doing so far is really lovely, and it has the same quality as watching Bob. Like, I'm really enjoying watching you make little trees.
This is the first. I've been wanting to do a landscape.
You should do a whole landscape, and like just do one. Like not just just kind of like make it your world.
Right now, I'm on 4.5 for the ball tip.
Beryl says, "Oh, I love twice a week lives." And Cian is asking, which time on Sunday?
Let's see here. The last time on Sunday for us, I did it at 6 p.m., which is 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. And it's like during the day for Australia, or evening. For you, it's like 9 hours, I think. I don't know. It'd be the middle of the night for you, Sienna. I'm sorry.
But she could do her critique at this time, though.
Yes, she could do hers at this time.
Yeah.
So, like, Gila and Cian. Who else?
As being left-handed, or doing it left in Australia, Beryl says no, just upside down.
Did I burn upside down? I'm not Australian.
Or are you?
Or am I? Alright, this tree
Have we been streaming live from Australia this entire time?
Don't mess with me.
And we just didn't know it.
Don't mess with me. Alright, so these trees that are closer are darker. The mountain kind of blends in. It's there. You know it's there. You feel it there, but it's not in your face. It's holding its spot. Too much highlight. But this allows the trees to stand out more. So we definitely want that.
Sharon says, just don't put a giant tree in the corner like Bob Ross.
Well, there's some trees here. I guess God. But you don't want a big one right here?
No.
Okay.
And a little cabin.
A little cabin. Now, I have trees by the water, but I did not, because Burl said she's doing a cabin by the water. It doesn't have a cabin, but... Alright, so I would still go even darker. Blend that out a little bit. This is closer, so you would see more of the grass poking up.
Yeah, that's lovely. I really like that. It's very appealing.
Let's see here. I do want to go with the direction of the slope. We'll kind of blend it out a little bit because we got the grasses right here. We got horizon right here. Not exactly sure why I haven't done the landscape.
Well, your focus has been like rendering like animals, and you haven't done a person in a while, but like mostly like wildlife in a highly realistic and artistic way.
That grass
She's
there.
not paying attention to me right
No,
now.
I heard you. I'm just trying to get things in the right spot.
But as soon as you put them down, they're in the right spot. Don't you know?
It don't work like that in my brain.
Oh.
My brain don't work like that. So following the direction.
Well, watching Bob as a child must have really, really pissed you off.
No, he's a happy guy.
What are you doing, Bob? You say it belongs there, but it doesn't. How do you know, Bob?
Maybe a little.
Uh-huh. I knew it.
Maybe a little. Alright. I'm just getting some grasses in. Again, just squiggling. Just squiggling. And I could switch over pins. But for now, does that look okay?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
I'm not being able to finish these.
Beryl, thank you so much for the socks that you gave Valarie. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You make it sound like my feet get cold. Yeah, let's take some graphite off so we can see a little bit better. There we go. And now we are going to switch over to... I do know I have this one. Yellow tree.
So, we're not doing rocks anymore?
Not right now.
Okay.
There we go.
You know what you could do?
Yellow tree.
You could put a lobster in with a rock. And then it would be a rock lobster.
Yeah. So this one is
Rock lobster?
a different kind of tree with some water. Looks like a lake.
Sharon says you have a squirrel in a pocket.
So you're not going to see a whole lot of stuff transferred because I didn't transfer a whole lot. I think I'm going to, because these limbs are thinner, I think I'm going to switch over to my 9MS, if I can find it.
Why are you choosing that?
Because it's thin. These are thin areas that I'm doing. It's still going to be large in the scheme of things, but it's okay.
Beryl says kids are out of school and her internet is buffering something crazy.
Uh-oh.
I know the feeling, Beryl. I know the feeling.
Alrighty. So, looking at this one, we have a thicker base. But again, you're not seeing details. You don't see all the leaves. All you see are the shapes that the clumps make and how the light is hitting those. So, we'll put...
Thank you, Ted. Nice reference.
And this is not burning very smooth because it's hand sanded.
Fred for the win, indeed.
Alright. And then, got a couple of trees in the background that I'll try to... I need to I need to raise my easel.
And it's gone.
What is going?
I'm watching the delayed version.
Oh.
No, Greg, my humor has not changed in the new year.
No. Better
I
not.
hope nobody was expecting me to get more refined.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
I know.
Alright, so you're seeing all these dots because of how I sanded. That is why it happens. Though this pin can...
Right, what dots? Are you talking like the skipping or...
Yep, the
Okay.
skipping. That is from lack of sanding. And it's going to bug the hell out of me.
Yes, Beryl, her feet are much warmer. Like, it's insane how much warmer her feet are.
Oh, but even better is with the Uggs. Oh my gosh, so toasty.
Yeah.
So toasty. I am going to switch it over to...
And Ted says that's his favorite tip, the one that you're using.
And going back to the 18S. The one I was using, the 9... yeah, but because I have how I sanded, I just do not like... I don't like that for my work. Now, it does have its place, so... we'll see. Maybe I can...
Larry Hendricks is here and says hello.
Hi, Laura.
Larry.
Larry. Sorry, Larry. Sorry. My cat is doing it again.
What is it doing?
Not showing me.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, I
There's
have to like
Larry.
close out and start over.
Alright, so this 18 is doing much better line for a tree that I wanted in the distance. Now I could lower the heat. I'm not sure. A little high. There we go. It's fine. It's fine. Alrighty. So let's get this tree in. Just a little bit of the limbs. Don't want them too dark because this tree has the lighter limbs and the leaves are falling off. So
you're just like basically drawing the shadow side in like the areas of limbs that are prominent.
yes, I'm not putting everything in.
Beryl wants to know if any of these little burnings from the live ever get finished.
No. I this is a scrap piece of wood, and I'm doing what I'm doing so that I can get through things quicker. But no, I haven't finished anything.
See, and I think that these ones here, because like when you're like,
I might finish these.
when you're fabulously famous, and then these become like really, really expensive, and then somebody would be like, I want the scrap burnings that Valarie did in episode 1 in the 2019 series, and I'll be like, $5 million.
Yeah, that ain't happening. It's not happening.
Ted wants to know if that is an A10M or an S.
This is the S. I switch back over to the S.
And Larry is asking, so you're using your writing pen to do trees?
I'm using my shader right now.
Oh, okay. So, because I guess he usually uses a shader.
Yeah, I was to get the thinner.
Oh, before you switched.
Yeah, I
I'm
switched
sorry.
over.
We're on delay.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, we're on the delay. So right now I'm just trying to get in the shape of where the shadows are. So that... There we go. Yeah, the 18 is doing much better for the lines. And again, just like with the rocks, I can bounce around. I'm at 3.5 again. I'm squiggling. And this would be kind of similar to hair and fur. We're not seeing the details. We want the shape to let us know that it's a tree. But we don't see all that detail. Some negative burning.
I like how confident you are. You're just like, and I'm just going to bust out a tree here.
Oh, I don't know about confident. I'm holding my breath, and in my brain I'm going, don't screw up, don't screw up, don't screw up. So I don't know about how no, it's more about I'm just gonna do it, and then we'll see what happens. I think it helps having these boards not finished, because I can just tell myself they're just practice. They're not anything. So squiggles.
Yeah, I watched a thing by Proco. He's a YouTuber, and he was talking about doing small studies, being that they're some of the most effective tools for getting better, because you
are focusing on a smaller area.
Well, not just that, but you work quicker and you make your mistakes quicker, and your mistakes are where you learn from. So,
well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
For me, it's just because it's smaller and I don't care. If I don't care so much...
You don't care.
I don't care.
Who are you?
I don't care. If I don't care so much, I don't stress. I'm like, whatever. I screwed it up. Life happens. Like right there. I went 2.
And then you just adjust. And you make it awesome. Because that's what you do.
Let's get some darks in here.
Obviously, I have faith in you.
I have faith in you.
It's a good thing I'm not like your agent for commissions. You're like, what? Yeah, group photo? Sure, she can do that from memory. Jeez. And that segues into a question from Cian.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I have a large burning that I need to do. It is a pet portrait, and the reference photo is not good. Do you have any tips of working with bad reference photos?
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
So,
if it's a dog, you can go looking for the breed of the dog on Google and see if you can find things that are clear. But there's certain things about each dog, just like people, that are different from dog to dog. You say bad photo. Sheila had that problem. She had a blown out kitty cat. A rough cat. Very rough cat. She did a beautiful job, and she had to go looking for other reference photos to give her the information that she was lacking in the commission photo.
I would say too, like, I don't know how far along you are in the process. I've done quite a few portraits from people, and then a couple from pets and things like that. And like, if you're not too far into it, contacting the client and saying, hey, can I get some other... You don't have to tell the client, like, hey, this photo is terrible, you know, but if you tell the client, like, hey, you know, I'd really like some other photos so that I can, you know, that I can get a better perspective, and so I can, you know, get a better idea of the
more information
of the pet's character, and, you know, then definitely do that. Like, get as many photos as you can of that pet, because it'll help. Because I have done, when I was younger, I did a few portraits that were from really awful
I think we all
references.
do that.
And I know, like, in one particular, it was a guy's wife, and it was like a wallet photo that he had me use, and I did my best on it, and I gave him the picture, and he was like, dude, this doesn't look like my wife at all. And I was like, and it was like pretty much exact from the wallet photo. I used the information I could. I'd never met his wife. I never had met his wife, so I didn't know. But yeah, it's a dangerous thing to fall into, especially when people are connected to the subject, because then it's almost like they take it personal. They're like, oh, this doesn't look like, you know, this doesn't look like Bowser, and then you have to end up doing it over again, and then there's like hurt feelings, you know, and
then you're a ticked off artist.
Yeah, and then you're annoyed because you got to redo the thing, and you feel bad, you know, and yeah, just get as best references as you can. And then, like, if it's a gift or something, and you this is just my ethic, so you might have something else to chime in on. Mm-hmm. But like, if it's not a surprise gift, you know, or even if it is, like, I'll contact the client when I'm part way, when I think that I've got like the groundwork laid, and I'll show the client, and I'll be like, hey, this is what I've got so far. How are you liking it? Because every step of the process that they approve, you know, and if you're doing your best job, it makes them more connected to it, and they're much more likely to be happy with it in the end, you know, especially if there's any question at all. And that gives you time to, like, early on in the process, if they like suddenly are like, whoa, this doesn't look right, then you haven't put in all that time and effort into doing it, because that can be an issue too. But if they're connected all the way through the process and they approve it step by step, then, you know, then when it gets to the end, even if it's a gift, you know, if they've approved it, then even if that for some reason that they don't like it, you know, you've done your best work, and even if they come back and they're like, hey, I don't like this, you can say, well, you approved it, so I don't understand. You know, we can go from here, but it kind of puts the ball in their court. And because one thing that clients do like to do a lot of the times, especially when it's a family member, pet or not, is if somebody doesn't like it, they'll take it out on the artist.
Yep.
And that's really unpleasant for us.
I always go through the process. I have, for my commissions, I do at least 50% upfront deposit, and I request that when I've got my line work done, I have them approve the line art before I even start burning, and with the understanding that I can make changes on the line art. I can't necessarily make those changes in the burning itself. And this is the whole process for me. If it's more than one big change, I charge $20 a change. And that is, I do it so that people don't keep changing their minds.
Yeah. Well, that's good too, because I have run into that.
Keep changing their minds, and you're like, dude, really? This was supposed to be an elephant. How do we get to goat?
Yeah.
So I do charge for changes.
That's smart.
And then as I'm burning, I do send. All of this is done by email or messenger, so that I have it in writing. Word of mouth, guess isn't good enough. Let's see here. I think I need the ball tip to get more scrumbles in there.
Well, we have more information here. So she says the dog is deceased. She has all of the photos of it, and there's only like 6 photos.
Ugh.
Well, then I guess like what Valarie said about getting other references.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pull from Google.
And definitely, I think getting with the owner, if you have that option, and like figuring out the character, you know, to make sure that you get.
Well, when you say a bad photo, what do you mean by bad photo? Is it the whites are blown out? It's too dark and hard to adjust. Fuzzy.
Is it from far away?
Yeah, is it too far away?
Because that's like the worst for me, like fuzzy, or it's like a far away picture. Because
the far away picture is harder to fix in Photoshop, but fuzzy you can sharpen. Just like you can the contrast. Let's see here. So I've switched over to the ball tip to get more of the scrumble look for the leaves.
You have another question.
Mm-hmm.
So Eve says, I don't do realism. That's my solution. Your question is from Larry.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, please, I have Optima 2 with a shader, a skew, and a writing tip. What should next pen be that I buy?
A shader, a skew,
and a writer.
The subject matter of what you're burning, he's doing. He's not doing lettering, so. What would I go with next? Got the writer. I'm thinking, Larry. Thinking, what would I go with next? I think a ball tip. The medium. Since you've got the 9MS, that's a little bit smaller than the small ball tip. So I think you're set for that. I would probably go with the medium ball tip.
Okay.
I do use my ball tips a lot.
Ozzy is
Hi,
here.
Ozzy.
Says Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
And then Cian says in regards to the quality of the reference photos, paper photos, so they're like photocopies, I guess. Fuzzy, far away, overexposed. So that's like the trifecta. That's the trifecta of bad.
Okay, so I would go with what kind of dog it is. Google that. And then...
It's a mixed breed.
It's a mixed breed?
Well, there's got to be some other mixed breeds. So Google is our friend.
Yeah, what I tend to do is... if it's a black and white dog, I'll Google black and white, long hair, mixed breed dog. And see what pops up. Let's see here. This tree is too thick. Got too much on it. Should have gone thinner. So, this is way too thick for the type of tree. What am I going to do? I'm thinking. I was talking to myself. What do I do? What do I do? That's one thing about the lives is you get to listen to my problem solving. Which
good.
Does not always make sense. Let's see here. What I'm going to do is actually put this tree in front of this one, I think.
Eve is suggesting see if they'd be open to a more stylistic approach.
Yeah, that could definitely work.
I would almost, for me, what I would probably do if it was that bad is I would almost do the police sketch artist thing. I would like sit down with them and be like, you know, like with internet photos of dogs of that kind and be like, you know, tell me about your dog, you know, and try and pull out some detail from their memory, you know.
I like Eve's idea.
Yeah. Stylistic.
Not that I'm not good at that.
No, but
that would cause me problems.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see here. Get the lens out.
Oh, apparently Ted had to leave. He had to turn down his crock pot. He's doing pork loin and cabbage.
He's doing what? Oh, pork loin.
Yeah. We are doing roast chicken and potatoes with salad tonight.
Ooh, so that sounds yummy.
And Larry is saying landscapes is what he does. And he's questions a ball tip. So I think he's confirming a ball tip.
Yeah, I'd say a ball tip.
Okay.
Because if you've already got a skew, a shader, a writer, the ball tip does help give you texture and landscape. Let's see here. See, I've been scrumbling this tree.
Oh yeah, and I guess he doesn't have a ball tip, so yeah. Mm-hmm. And he says the medium ball tip. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the medium. Right now I'm using the small. The medium is on my right. So that hopefully... Da, 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 da.
Yeah, you can see the difference there.
Okay. I do like the medium the most, but because I'm doing a small area, I just grabbed the small.
And Sharon's doing crock pot too. Chicken with balsamic vinegar.
Ooh, that sounds good too.
And send you guys send some food over here.
Oh, did you tell them about the cookbook you got?
Oh yeah, I got an Asian
from our daughter-in-law.
cookbook.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be cooking all kinds of stuff.
Alright.
I'm cooking some beef satay, some chicken satay.
Who wants to stay? Who wants to stay? Get it?
Stop
Get it?
hitting me.
Get it? Aww. Aww. You didn't like my mom joke.
I got it.
You got it. I said you didn't like it. Alright, so for the water, we'll skip down. Because
Liked it.
we have to follow the horizon. And I'm actually going to turn this board so that I can get a straighter line. Because right here is our water line. I'm going to stick with the small. So we're going to put the water line in. And we need to stay horizontal.
I like to stay horizontal. As much as possible.
It's not nap time right now. So going horizontal. Let's get that in there. It's okay if it's not straight. It just needs to be horizontal. Go. And then our darkest area is right underneath where the light is not hitting. So we're going to get that in there. I'm doing little circles. I'm still set on 3.5. Slow down so that I can have it be darker.
Sian says thanks for all the tips. She's Googling and trying to find similar looking dogs.
Well, I hope that helps. That's got to be really hard. I know it's hard. Now let's put we're going to put our bank in. And see, this could be a little more curvy because the land is curving. So let's get that in there real quick.
So Larry he has just finished a farm scene and he likes the way it turned out.
Mm-hmm.
He's asking, how do I show you a picture of it to get your suggestions? Would that be a good
Facebook, my group.
Yeah. And Ted has already directed him to that. Would he be a candidate for like the critique if he wanted to?
That's if he wants to. I don't judge anybody if somebody wants to critique for the live, I don't question it. I just get their photos and the information that they've given me. I don't pick who gets a critique and who doesn't. And
your critiques are very constructive and
I
and
try.
you're very kind. It's not at all what happens when you come in my studio.
Hey, I'm nice to you too.
What is that?
What
are you trying?
I do not do that.
No, she doesn't.
I
doesn't.
do not.
She's very kind and helpful in her critiques. And
just because that maybe was going on in my brain doesn't mean that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
I appreciate you not saying it.
Alright, so we got the edge, the darkest edge of the banks.
Just keep the alcohol away from me before you get to my studio.
Yeah.
I don't want you to lose those inhibitions.
So, let's see here. We got this faded off. So we'll just put that in there so I have a placeholder. Alright, so now that I have my bank line shadow in, I think I need to go darker. And in going darker here, it means I'm going to have to go darker on my line of where the water meets the land. And that's what this line is. It's just where the water meets the land. And a lot of times the land hangs over.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Good fishing there.
Yeah.
If it's deep.
So we'll darken up some of the area. Not all of it. That way we have a little bit of visual indent going in. I think... Looking at my color photo, which I've got hidden. So, alright. I need to branch it off a little bit. Now I can darken my shadow. Kind of blend things in together. There we go.
We're on 12 12:19 right now.
Okay.
So,
I guess next week we will work on. Next week we shall work on those two. So we'll work on those
reflections. Was that one of the requests? Is reflections?
The water and the tree, a group of trees like that.
Okay.
I saw that photo and I was like, hey, I can do both. All right. So, but we do have reflections in this water. So this is going to be lighter, and we're going to need to keep again horizontal, because if we start going curved, it's going to make it feel more like it's in a snow globe versus what you're looking at.
It's like we're in a snow globe right now.
It's not snowing.
No, but the snow's coming off the trees.
You were in a snow globe yesterday.
If I shake you and the snow's coming off the trees, it'll be like you're in a snow globe. You'll be like, what is happening?
Alright. Now with the water, this is smooth water, so we need to make sure to keep all the brights from the sky. Make it shiny, so that'll be in between. And when you have reflections in the water, those are not sharp. They're fuzzy. So you don't have the detail that you had in your main subject. So we gotta keep an eye on that. Let's see here, we got some lighter land here. And I'm not putting in like any of the details in the background. But how I burn it can make it look more like bushes or trees in the distance. And that's less work I gotta do. Let's see here. There is a bit of water back here. We can't really, it's highlighted. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I gotta finish these and see how they look. I do need more on the leaves, just to fill it in. Let's see here. I am gonna lower my heat because if I don't, I'm gonna get the blobs in the water, and I want that as smooth as I can get it with the reflections coming down. So I do need to turn down my heat just a little bit. I am on 3. Are you awake?
Mm-hmm.
Did I put you to sleep?
No, I'm just texting out my Happy New Year's.
You're supposed to be working.
I am.
None of you're texting other people. Alright, so I'm trying to put some of the tree in.
Oh my god, Ted, that hurt. See, because I made this no-go comment and about shaking you, and he says, haven't you done enough to Val with snow, Jason?
Oh. That's very true. Good one, Ted.
I don't want to talk about it.
You're the one that Christmas storied me.
Thankfully, you didn't pull a Ralphie on me.
Okay, so I'm trying to blend, kind of smooth this out a little bit. This is going to be darker. I'm just putting placeholders so that I know about where things are, because I didn't transfer them. I try to transfer the least amount of information that my brain needs. If your brain needs more, then go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes that also means I'm off. Let's see here. So we have this here. And we have a little bit of that. There's going to be a bit of an angle sometimes, depending on how the tree is positioned. And we're seeing more of the tops of the trees, or the area that's actually hitting the water. It's not the whole tree. So let's see here, this tree and bushes, because we've got bushes in the background. Now that I have the placement, I gotta fill things out better.
It's amazing how far that came along in such a short time.
I'm trying to go faster, even though I shouldn't.
Oh, it looks good.
Especially after I tell everybody to slow down.
It looks good.
So here. Again, this still needs to go darker. So I'm trying to pull out the shadow, the reflection actually, because that's what we're seeing right here, is a reflection from whatever is the closest and the tallest that is hitting at a 90-degree angle. So I can actually switch over to the 18S. Another way that I have done leaves in the past, where you can see the leaves a little bit more, is very simple. It's using the 18S or M. And what I'll do is I'll do it off to the side here. I'm going to turn my board. If you look, if you just stamp down, you can get, depending on where you pressure the tip, you can get your bunch with highlights. And that's just by, now this would be a tree that's closer or is more the main focus. So using just the tip, or you can use the whole thing.
Really?
I know. And doing different, how long you stamp down. If it's, really, really quick versus longer. If I go longer, I'm going to get the darkers. Like that. And quicker, I can get more of my highlighted trees. You can also do this with fish scales. You just have to be at the right angle for fish scales. That would take some. And doing this, we now have the texture of a tree without, and we can always go back in and blend some of it in, refine the shape a little bit. There you go.
He thought your comment was funny. The Grace and Heather missed an easy one.
I know. It was so easy. In fact, I don't need them. I just do it myself now.
Beryl says there must be a cosmic storm. Now my internet is kicking out. I think I must be 10 minutes behind.
Oh no.
That's probably just all the streaming that's going on. In
probably. House. Everybody home.
Yeah. Sharon says one of my biggest problems is cast shadows.
Cast shadows. Okay.
And Ted says, me too, Sharon, especially if there are two light sources.
Two light sources. Okay. See, let me think. Do I have anything in here that has a cast shadow like that? I mean, we are looking at the water. Okay, so.
Well, I can really smell the wood.
I am at 4.
When you're doing the stamping, I think.
Oh, yeah, because I got it higher. So, cast shadow. A hard time if we got two light sources. Let me see if I can draw something real quick. I don't think I got room on this side. Let's see here. So we've got a cast shadow with two light sources. So we've got light source this way, light source this way. Ooh, I can feel the heat. This is not going to be perfect. So you really don't want a light source a reference like what you're talking about with the two light sources being opposite of each other. But if that's what you got. Alright, so are both, it's going to make a difference if both of the lights are the same strength, because then they would kind of cancel each other out. But if you've got one, say this side is brighter, that would create our shadow this way. We've got some coming this way, so there's going to be a bit shadow going this way. Our darkest area is going to be underneath where the two light sources can't cancel each other out. Let's see here.
Lighting's one of those things that you have to continue to observe and work with over time, because there's light sources, there's shadows, there's counter lighting, there's reflections, you know, and it's a complicated process. But I think by observing different things and seeing how an object is affected, you know, by different light sources, and how those shadows cast, and how the surface that it's sitting on also reflects light back, you know, and causes that interaction too.
Yeah,
it's all very complex. The more that you pay attention to and can capture that, though, I think that the more believable and realistic that the work will be. And of course, then you have to balance that with detail, you know, as opposed to over detailing it. It makes me sleepy just thinking about it.
Yeah, there's some good videos just on lighting. So we got.
He says, Ted says, that's what my critique piece is about.
I know that he has. Okay, that's what it's his mushroom, and he's got a light inside the mushroom house that's on, with the outside being at sunset around that time. So I know what he's asking. I know. He wants to know how the light inside would hit the crossbars of the window with it being dark out, or with there still being some light outside. I should have done. Is that right, Ted? Because if so, I can do that a lot quicker. I can do this.
I know how to do it. You board up the windows. And that way no light gets out.
Okay.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. Alright. So, what he has...
He says yes.
Alright, what he's got is he's got the crossbars for the window. None of this is going to be perfect. So you've got the crossbars for the windows. You want the inside to be lit up. Let's do this quick. Don't mind me.
Well,
this
so
is
we're
crap.
watching you.
I know.
We kind of have to mind you.
Okay.
It's all about you.
I'm just going to do one side. Alrighty. So we've got light inside the window. And we've got it dark. It's starting to get dark outside. So I would... This has got a knot, and this part's hand sanded too. Actually, I may not have sanded this part. So we got our dark outside. So we hit that value.
He says, and if it affects the cast from the overhanging mushroom.
So we got overhanging mushroom.
Ooh, and that mushroom, depending on the angle, is going to have light reflected off of it from below, from the light coming out of the window.
No, right now we're going to worry about the window.
It's too much.
Right now we're going to worry about the window.
It's too much, Ted. Abort. Abort.
Actually, I think he's making it a little harder than it needs to be. I think we can get away with. Alright. So you got your mushroom up top. Okay, so we got an overhang from the top, from the roof. cast light. See, but the thing is on the ground part, if it's getting dark, where the mushroom and the ground meet will be dark. So we don't really have a cast light there because it's in shadow for the mushroom. Now for the light inside, what you would have, I'm going to have to switch pins so I can have a small one. What you're going to have is the middle of the crossbars right here. Hopefully I'll bump it down a little bit. There we go. The middle of the crossbar is going to be darker because we have no light hitting there. What I don't have information wise is where the light is inside the house, because that will change the angle of where it hits the crossbar. Now if it's just an all over glow inside the house, in the middle of the crossbars are going to be darker than the outside.
I wonder if you could do like a cardboard mock-up and light it.
Sure.
You know, that might help.
Or just look on Pixabay. There's like just look for photos of houses with lights on. Okay, so the inside of the crossbar, as we're looking on it from the outside, that is going to be darker because it's in shadow. If the light is like just filling the room.
Larry has to go.
Hi Larry, almost done here. So, the inside will be darker. If it's coming from like there's a light sitting next to the window, then it is gonna change the direction of the shadow for the crossbars. And for that you would just do the opposite. So we got yellow light in here. So let's get that in there. Okay. And not all of the crossbar is going to be white. Okay. Or just say this is the light. So in doing this,
Ted says he actually thought about a model.
Model's not a bad idea if that's something that you can do, because then you can light it how you want. Doing it, let's see here, I gotta erase some of the graphite or you're not going to see the light. There you go. Your mushroom will be darker, and your mushroom being darker. See, I went a little too dark on the crossbar, to be honest. Here he's got, I'm trying to remember his mushroom. It's more of a ledge. So the light for the inside of the ledge will hit the inside. So the outside of the frame of the window will be darker. Hopefully I'm not confusing him. It really depends on where your light is coming from. And because yeah, my crossbar is a little too dark, but hopefully this shows that whatever the light's touching is going to be lighter, and where the light is not touching is going to be darker. Sometimes we make it a little harder than it needs to be. I'm exaggerating so that you can see better. I would not do the crossbars as dark. The crossbars, well, first you need to decide on your drawing if it's the light tonal value, meaning white, pastel, or whatnot, for the window frame, because that's going to adjust the tonal value of your shading. The bottom line the light. Let's see here. If we have the light coming this way, that means we have a dark crossbar up here. We have a dark crossbar up here. And dark on this side, but it's light on that side. Below this. Did I just confuse everything?
No, I don't think so.
Because I'm trying to think. A reference photo makes such a big difference. Because then you can see my lines are not straight, so it's throwing me off.
There's probably like...
There's videos all over the place about
I was
lighting.
thinking there's probably programs too. But
in Photoshop, you can do lens flare. I think you can do 3D lighting in Photoshop. I'm just trying to accent. I think having his burning in front of me and doing what I do with the color pencils makes a difference. So just for a glow inside, an overall glow, the crossbars will be darker in the middle. And your outer leg will be lighter at the bottom and darker at the top. Alright. Did I make it worse, Ted?
he's not answering.
I know he's not answering.
Well, he hasn't heard you yet.
Oh. Let's see. I went too dark on the lighting. Let's see. Let's see if we can make this better. Drive me nuts. Too dark. Yeah, you can tell I didn't really sand well.
You can hear it.
I know. Makes a difference. I'm just waiting for him to respond. If he's still in.
He says it helped.
Oh, okay. Alright. Do we got anything else? Alright. I think we need to start wrapping it up. So really, on landscapes, you have a lot more leeway to relax. I think that's the biggest thing. Just follow what you see. You distance trees, you see clumps, so do clumps. There'll be more detail as something is closer. And I'm not even on the screen. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. Now we're on screen. Do we have anything else? Oh, I need a break. Next week we are going to work on the tree and the watering trees.
I don't think we have any more questions.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pop off the picture so that... there we go. So next week we do these two. And I think the week after that we'll do the critique. Let me know down in the comments, especially if you're watching this on replay. Should we do the twice a month in the same week critiques?
I think so.
Meaning Tuesday and Sunday.
I think it's a good point.
Okay, then we shall do that.
Hear from the Toasties, but I can't see any downsides to it.
Oh, I can't either. Hopefully that's lit okay.
Well, you're getting lots of thank yous for the info.
Well, hopefully it helps. I know I get going. Sometimes it's hard to keep all the thoughts in a straight line. So hopefully I did not get you confused. I hope everybody had an awesome New Year. It's 2019. Wow. It went by quick.
Yeah.
18 is gone.
Chat wants you to finish these little mini paintings.
Okay, I'll finish these.
That was easy.
I don't know when I'm finishing them because I'm working on the damn video I got myself into. So much information.
The mega video.
The mega video. Yes, so much information. But yes, you know what? I'll work on these this week just as a way of practice because I hadn't had the burner on in 2 weeks. I can feel the difference in my burning. You know, right now I'm just trying not to be hard on myself.
Well, I think chat's agreeing with the two critiques.
Okay, then we shall do that because I felt so bad. Keela was upset with me.
She was here.
I know, I felt so bad. Oh, I wanted to hear the Raven just on camera.
You want me to hand it to you?
Yes, please. Because Burl, tell Terry she might want to watch. So, everyone, this is Morgan. Morgan, this is everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Say hi. She's so pretty. I fluffed up her wings a little bit. So, you can, these are actually posable. There's a little bit of wire in them, and it's just so awesome. So I gotta go make a special shelf for her for the set. So, hello. Okay, here we go. Terry did an awesome job. Thank you so much, Terry. And I shall be ordering more when I can. Now, don't forget, you're awesome. You can do this. You're a pyro artist. And I so forgot to say that at the beginning.
Okay, you said it now.
Everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And we will see you next Tuesday. Same time, same place. Happy burning. Bye.
Bye.